Hello, and welcome to all the references and Easter eggs I found in Mortal Kombat 11. These, these are just Easter eggs of my favourite Easter eggs that I found. So, I just hope you like that list. I'll just read if you want. Joker says to Kotal Khan, "Of course I do, with Dr. Fate," which is a reference to the DC character Dr. Fate. Baraka says to Joker that he knows him because he and Joker had met before in the last game, Mortal Kombat vs. DC. Baraka says to Joker, "What is he supposed to be?" Joker replies to him, "Harley Quinn of Hate," which is a reference to Harley Quinn. Jackie Briggs says to Baraka, "Grandma, what big teeth you have," which is a reference to the fairy tale Little Red Riding Hood. Johnny Cage and Cassie Cage calls Frost Elsa, which is a character from the Disney film Frozen. Johnny Cage calls Frost Elsa, doing the announcer voice. Cassie Cage calls Frost Elsa, doing one of her intros. In Gira's friendship, his castle is similar to a Disney castle. Don't know what Disney castle it could be. Maybe Cinderella's or Sleeping Beauty's? Maybe? Cetrion says to Sub-Zero that she has seen the world beyond the realms. Sub-Zero responds to her, "Then Raiden and I did go there." And Cetrion responds him back that it wasn't a dream. Because Sub-Zero was a DLC guest fightable character in Injustice 2, Joker says to Aaron Black that this Joker's wild, which is one of his quotes in the story mode in DC side in Mortal Kombat vs. DC. When he got the combat rage active, he said, "'Cause this Joker's wild." Aaron Black responds to Terminator with his catchphrase, "Hasta la vista, baby," from the Terminator films. When Johnny Cage's announcer voice says Cabal's name, he calls him Captain Hooks, which is a reference to the Peter Pan character Captain Hook. Jade says to Joker that he killed millions of people, which is a reference to Injustice, where Joker puts the nuclear bomb in Metropolis and puts the trigger in Lois's heart. And when Superman accidentally killed Lois Lane, the bomb exploded and killed millions of people, including Beast Boy and Kid Flash. Johnny Cage says to Cetrion, "Well, they're too sexy for their shirts too," which is a reference to Right Said Fred's song, "I'm Too Sexy." "I'm too sexy for my shirt." Like that. Joker responds to Kotal Khan that he knows a king who talks to fish, which is a reference to Aquaman and the Justice League movie. Joker responds to Baraka, "The bucks I make selling them in Gotham." It's a reference to Gotham City, Batman City. Joker says to Cassie that he was all the rage, which is a reference to the combat rage in Mortal Kombat vs. DC. Joker says to Frost there's a gal she would love. Frost responds to Joker that is she a great cryomancer, but Joker replies to her, "She's Killer Frost," a reference to Killer Frost. Not referenced by name, but still a reference to her. Joker says to Jackie, "Well, aren't you a Vixen?" Both references to Vixen, a DC character, and Meglin Chakunkwok voices Jackie Briggs in Mortal Kombat 11 and Vixen in Injustice 2. Jax. Joker responds to Jax that he sounds like that blue Boy Scout, which is a reference to Superman. Joker tells Johnny Cage, the producers, he will star in his next film. Johnny Cage responds to him, a killer clown, Clef City, which is a reference to Killer Clowns from Outer Space, or Stephen King's It. When the first Joker says to his double, he says, "We had to make do as a dynamic duo," which is a reference to Batman and Robin, because Batman and Robin are the dynamic duo. Joker's double says, "Only two of us, that's an injustice," a reference to Injustice 1 and 2. Joker responds to him, "What we could do with a third," a reference to the future game, Injustice 3. Joker's responds to Cabal that he will be dead in a flash, a reference to the Flash. Joker says to Kotal Khan, "Whatever happened to Dark Khan?" But Kotal Khan says, "Dark Khan?" And Joker responds that he had missed it because Kotal Khan was introduced in Mortal Kombat X. While Mortal Kombat vs. DC was made a few years just before Mortal Kombat X, in reference to Dark Khan, original character in an original character in Mortal Kombat vs. DC, who was mixed with Darkseid and Shao Kahn. Joker responds to Melina that he couldn't resist a beauty who was a beast, which is a reference to Beauty and the Beast book or the Disney film. Joker responds to Nightwolf that they could be super friends. We could have been super friends. A reference to Challenge of the Super Friends, which is a classic TV DC show. Joker mentions Manitou Raven and Apache Chief to Nightwolf, a reference to Manitou Raven and Apache Chief from DC Comics. I know Apache Chief, but I never heard of Manitou Raven. Anyways, moving on. Joker says to Shang Tsung that he stole his face, which is a reference to the Mortal Kombat 2011 game, where Shang Tsung does a fatality similar to Joker, but a different clown shape, and Joker responds to him, "Never rub another man's rhubarb," a reference to the 1989 Batman film. Joker says to Terminator he reminds him of Batman, but Terminator doesn't know who's Bats, because Terminator didn't have a crossover with Batman. Joker responds to Kano his nickname, the Clown Prince of Crime. Noob Saibot says to his double, "Who are you, Ghost?" And his double says to his name is, "He who shall must not be named." And then he responds, "Return to your deathly hollow," which is a reference to Voldemort, or aka Tom Riddle, and a reference to the 7th book and the 7th and the 8th films of Harry Potter. Raiden says to Spawn that he reminds him of another Dark Knight. Spawn says to him that the $1 billion Crusader is a friend. That Raiden has met Batman in both games, Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat vs. DC. And Spawn has a crossover comic with Batman. Raiden responds to Spawn from the line in the Lord of the Rings movie, "You shall not pass." Raiden says to Sub-Zero he dreams of a strange and unjust world. Sub-Zero responds to him with a Dark Knight and a Cape Wonder, which is a reference to Batman and Superman, and another reference to Injustice 2 because Raiden and Sub-Zero were both guest Mortal Kombat characters in Injustice 2. Joker responds to Rain, "All hail the new king in town," which is a little reference to Aquaman. Joker mentions Batman to Rain in one of his quotes. RoboCop says to Terminator, "Haven't we done this before?" which is a reference to RoboCop vs. Terminator game because they met before. Because there was a RoboCop vs. Terminator game many years before they were introduced in Mortal Kombat 11. Joker responds to Scorpion that the back of his head is still hurting, which is a reference to the Mortal Kombat side story mode in Mortal Kombat vs. DC, where Scorpion is in Gotham City and Joker uses boxing glove on the back of his hand. Oops, where did that come from? In Aaron Black's wanted poster intro with Johnny Cage, the poster reward says $500, which is a reference to the 1995 Mortal Kombat film where Goro crushes Johnny's $500 glasses. Spawn says to Scorpion that he's been to other dimensions. Scorpion responds to him that each has its own injustices. It's because Scorpion was a Mortal Kombat guest character in Injustice Gods Among Us game. Sub-Zero says to Spawn that he had met Kate Wonders like him before, which is a reference to Superman. Spawn responds to him, "Your days of fighting people end here." Sub-Zero said that they spoke like that too, which is a reference to the DC heroes. Say that when the DC Comics heroes say that to Mr. Freeze or Chillblain, Icicle, Killer Frost or Captain Cold. One of Joker's outros is when he pushes the button on the detonator, nothing happens, and then it explodes, which is a reference to the Dark Knight film, where Joker is blowing up a hospital. Just ignore that one. Batman's cowl appears on Baraka's gear name, Suicide Squad, and also Baraka's gear name, Suicide Squad, which is a reference to the group of supervillains Task Force X, aka Suicide Squad. And Killer Croc, he appears as a skin for Baraka. Darkseid appears as a skin for Geras. Catwoman appears as a skin for Katana. Harley Quinn appears as a skin for Cassie. The Batman Who Laughs appears as a skin for Noob Saibot. Batman makes a non-appearance in Joker's friendship by throwing a Batarang at him. And did you know that the Batarang is Injustice 2 design? One of the Joker's intros has him cutting his thumb with his own knife and drawing a smile on his face with his own blood. Possibly a reference to the 2019 Joker film with Arthur Fleck. Now the Joker stands among the crowd of rioters in Gotham, dancing and then smearing in the blood in his own face into a smile. One of Joker's brutality is named "Send in the Clowns," which is a song of the same name by Stephanie Stevens Sondheim. And the song was also featured in the 2019 Joker film, played at the end credits. The final moment of Joker's fatal blow is a reference to the events of The Death in the Family, where Joker kills Jason Todd, who was Robin, who was later resurrected as Red Hood, by beating him senseless with a crowbar in the warehouse before leaving him to die in a bomb explosion. This is similar to a super move, Not So Funny, is is it? In Injustice 2, which is another reference to the death of Jason Todd. It's a reference again with a special move, Bird Boy Beatdown, and how Joker performs the attack in the name itself. One of Joker's special moves, C C D D E G E C, is named after the musical notes that are played in the popular English nursery rhyme, Pop Goes the Weasel. The same notes are played while Joker winds up the Jack-in-the-Box during the move. And also Joker parodies the song during his Pop Goes the Mortal fatality while performing the finisher. Joker is the only character with a special attack who's amplified. I'm just going to have to say Meter Burn. It's easy. Actually has a name. This being his Kapow special move, whose Meter Burn name is Bang, Pow, Zap, which is probably a reference to the famous sound effects title cards in 1960s Batman TV series. When Joker is interacting with Spawn, he tells the Joker, "Your angel death awaits," which is a reference to the 1993 film Batman, Mask of a Phantasm. When the players pick Raiden with Johnny's announcer voice, Johnny references Thundercats. When the player picks Shao Kahn with Johnny's announcer voice, Johnny shouts, "Khan!" which is a reference to the Mortal Kombat vs. DC story mode in the DC side, where Joker hears that the threat is called Dark Khan. He shouts out, "Khan!" Then Deathstroke says to him, "Shut up or I'll got you." When player picks RoboCop with Johnny's amount of voice, Johnny says the line from the RoboCop film, "I'll buy that for $1." When the player picks Coliseum Beastpan with Johnny's announcer voice, Johnny references Fantastic Beasts, a references to the book and the film's Fantastic Beasts, spin-off of Harry Potter. Fantastic Beasts takes place before Harry Potter was born. When the player picks Charon ship with Johnny's announcer voice, Johnny says, "Iceberg, right ahead," which is a reference to Titanic. When the player picks Lost Hive with Kai Tin with Johnny's announcer voice, Johnny says, "A Bug's Death," which is a reference to the Disney Pixar film A Bug's Life, and also the references to the Simpsons episode Helter Skelter, where it has the same name from that line. Cassie Cage's Harley Quinn skin features a Batman button on Cassie's weapon bag. So that's all the Easter eggs all the favourite Easter eggs I wanted to show. Hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe, and see you all for another video.